Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're on another live stream. Today is part 4 of the 5-part series, the 7 habits of highly successful seducers. So, in this series, you're learning the 7 habits that you need to learn in order to gain an abundance with women and in order to master this game. Okay, so this 5-part series is going to allow you to get unstuck and start getting the results you want with women. Let's turn on the air conditioner. So if you've been stuck, not getting the results you want with women, not being able to attract the women you truly want, and you're wondering, what am I missing? Why is it that some guys that are less intelligent than me, less good looking than me, are getting the kind of girls that I want? It's not fair. Why are other guys getting the results that I want, but I'm not getting them, even though I know a lot about the game and I've tried harder? Well, the good news is mastery of the game doesn't require you to try harder. It requires you to play smarter. So you can look at these 7 habits as the smart way to play and master this game. If you see some guys out there who are having success with women, it's not an accident. It's because they're either consciously or unconsciously following these 7 habits. Another way we could say it is these are 7 principles of success. You need to understand that just like to succeed in business and with money and wealth, you need to follow principles of success. And just like when you want to succeed in sport, you also need to follow principles. Well, seduction is no different. You also need to follow principles. So these are the 7 principles that you need to follow. So with that, let's get started. First, we'll review the first 4 habits of highly successful seducers, which we have covered in the previous lessons. And then we'll continue. I'm going to share, I think, 2 more of the 7 habits. So, habit number 1 of highly successful seducers is they use the right strategy. They follow instructions and they follow a proven strategy that works. They don't waste time reinventing the wheel. So, this course is showing you the exact strategy. Okay, so habit number 1 is using the right strategy, and the remaining 6 habits are the actual pieces of the strategy. So, habit number 2 is one mentor. Well, let me go. I wrote them differently on the paper. Habit number 2, we said, is no man can succeed alone. Every man who wants to succeed with women needs to use the mastermind principle. The mastermind principle is from the book, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And the mastermind principle says basically that no man can achieve great wealth or success without using the mastermind principle. So seduction is a team sport. You need to go at it with at least one more person. Okay, if you're going at it alone, that's a big reason why you're stuck. Okay, and I'm not going to go into the mastermind principle. Go back and watch the previous lessons if you haven't already. The next one, the third habit, is you need to use the system of one mentor, one system, 1 year. What that means is that you're not necessarily scared of women. What's happening, what's more likely, is that you're confused, you're in conflict within yourself, and that's causing paralysis. Okay, in order for you to get success with women, we need action. Action only happens if your mind is whole, not in conflict. Okay, so one mentor, one system, 1 year takes away confusion, takes away overwhelm, gives you clarity. You're operating only out of one system, you're only following one mentor for 1 year, and that gets you into action because it removes overwhelm and confusion. Okay, and then the 4th principle of success that you need in order to succeed with women is you need to get accountable to somebody you respect. Okay, you need to get accountable to somebody you respect. Studies have shown that the highest performers hold each other accountable. I talk about the group of seducers that group of 5 guys who used to always mastermind with each other, used to always share information with each other, and used to hold each other accountable. And it wasn't an accident that those guys were at the top, because they were implementing these 7 habits of highly successful seducers. This AC hurts my throat. Okay, so those are the 4 habits. Let's move on to habit number 5. What we're going to talk about now is called your blind spots. Okay, your blind spots. So one of the biggest major causes that keeps men from ever mastering this game of seduction is their blind spots. And like I said in a previous video, I've been watching thousands of men, if not hundreds of thousands of men, move through my channel. So I see the patterns of success, I see the patterns of failure. And the majority of men that pass through my channel over the years that have stayed stuck, it's because they had blind spots and they never got their blind spots revealed. So what is a blind spot? Like it sounds, a blind spot is an area of your game or your strategy that you're blind to. You're making a mistake that you're blind to. And it's called a blind spot because you don't know that you don't know. Okay? If you don't know that you don't know something, how can you know it? Okay? If you don't know that you know something, how can you know it? You can't. You're blind to it. You don't know that you don't know. Okay? Now, when you're going on online and typing in like how to get more confidence with women or how to get her number or whatever it is, you're not searching for something you don't know that you don't know. You're searching for something you know that you don't know. Let's say that again. When you're searching for information on YouTube, you're searching for something you know that you don't know. Okay? But that's not what gets you unstuck. Because if you know that you don't know something, well, then you go and you try to learn that thing and then you get the information. But what keeps you stuck is that you're making a mistake that you don't know that you're making, and you don't know that you don't know. And so you keep making that mistake because you don't know that you don't know. You don't know that you're making that mistake. You think you're not making a mistake in this area or that area, but you are, and that's what's keeping you stuck. Okay? So a blind spot is an area or several areas where you're unconsciously making mistakes with women, and those mistakes are constantly causing you to bump up against that invisible wall and not get the breakthrough you want. And a blind spot cannot be solved by going and searching on YouTube because you don't know what to search because you don't know what your blind spot is. Okay? So that's the dilemma. So the scenario that's playing out is guys keep searching for what they think they need to improve on, and they're working on all this stuff over here. Get her number, get more charismatic, be more alpha, get more confidence, believe in myself, love myself, how to have a great conversation, working on all this stuff, but still nothing's happening. Why? Because his blind spots are here untouched. Nobody's working on them because he doesn't know that they're there. So he's working on this stuff when this is the real problem. See what I'm saying? So that's why men waste years of their life staying stuck. Okay? And that's why, for the same reason, for me, I coach clients one-on-one as well as in small groups. And the average time that guys go from being completely stuck, like when they come to me, they're stuck, they're not getting the results, to them getting a girlfriend, having casual sex, getting consistent results with women, they make that turnaround in an average period between 3 to 6 months. Okay? Some take a little longer, 9 months, but the average is like 3 to 6 months, going from completely stuck to now getting consistent results. Now listen closely. These guys get unstuck after coaching with me within 3 to 6 months. Before they came to me, the average time frame that these guys were stuck not getting good results is like 3 to 5 years. So they were stuck for 3 to 5 years, unable to break through because of their blind spots. okay? Because they didn't know what they didn't know. They didn't know the mistakes they were making. And so they couldn't fix them. They couldn't search them on YouTube because they didn't know that they didn't know. So 5 years, okay? Let's just take 4 as an average. They were stuck for for most of the guys, it was like 5 or even more, okay? For 4 years, they were stuck. Trying, going out, searching YouTube, reading, studying, all this stuff, no breakthrough. How do they then consistently, over the past 10 years I've been coaching guys, how do they consistently, quickly turn it around in 3 to 6 months? Stuck for 5 years, unstuck in 3 to 6 months. What's that magic that happens in that 3 to 6 months? What happens is they shifted their strategy. For 5 years, they were trying harder and accumulating more information. But then for 3 months, they joined me, masterminded, and they got their blind spots revealed. Okay? Each session, each coaching session, I reveal some blind spots. They go out, they get better results. Come back next session, we reveal more blind spots. They go out, they get even better results. Come back again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. After 3 months, some of these guys have a girlfriend. Some of these guys have lost their virginities. Some of these guys are now having casual sex. You know, some take a bit longer, 6 months, whatever. Just because every week we got together and revealed their blind spots, uncovered their blind spots, uncovered their blind spots. And then instead of taking another 5 years to get unstuck, boom, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, they're off to the races. You understand? So that's the power of having your blind spots revealed. And that's the new strategy. These 7 habits are a strategy shift. Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I don't know if that was Einstein or that's from NLP, but either way, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Most guys are just trying harder, which means doing the same thing over and over, accumulating more and more information, doing the same strategy, the strategy of accumulate more information and try harder. That's the strategy of most guys. And it hasn't worked for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 years, but they're still trying. Okay, like that bug on the window trying to fly through. It can try harder, but it's going to die there because it needs a different strategy. It needs to fly out the other window that's open or out the doorway. You need to stop being like the fly. Trying harder and accumulating more information doesn't work. Listen to the stories I'm telling you. These guys that come to me, it's not like they were stuck for 3, 4, 5 years because they were sitting there like this, twiddling their thumbs and not trying. No, they were trying their hardest. You know when guys come to me for coaching? After they've tried their absolute hardest for years, and they finally get humbled enough to be like, okay, yeah, this isn't going to work. Okay, I need my blind spots revealed. Okay, that's when guys come to me. So the guys that come to me aren't guys that are just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I want some women in my life, and I've never tried to get women, so let me go and get some coaching. Those aren't the guys that come to me. The guys that come to me have been trying harder and accumulating information, trying harder, accumulating information, using the same strategy you're using right now if you're stuck. But their story ended happily because they implemented the strategy of mastermind, accountability, one system, one mentor, 1 year, and getting their blind spots revealed. And then poof, 3 months, 6 months, their life changes forever. You know what I hear so often from, and I've heard this so often in the past at least 6 years. After someone does coaching with me, they say, Jad, I wish I did this 10 years ago. Jad, I wish I hired you 3 years ago. Jad, I wish I just joined you and did this, 4 years ago. Okay? I mean, if that doesn't say everything, what does? In fact, I have one client who was a virgin until he was 34, 35. I don't remember his exact age, but 34, 35. And, he lost his virginity, got his first girlfriend, all that stuff. Okay? And just last week, he also texted me and he's like, man, I wish I did coaching with you 10 years ago. Okay? So that is the power and necessity of having your blind spots revealed. You can't do it on your own. Okay? most guys end up a casualty to this game. Not because they weren't determined enough, not because they didn't try hard enough, but because they didn't know what they didn't know. And those poor guys that gave up the game, they gave up because they didn't know these 7 habits of highly successful seducers. They didn't know that masterminding is essential, not optional. They didn't know that getting your blind spots pointed out is essential, not optional. Okay? But you don't have to be a casualty because I'm giving you the answers. So before I continue, I would like to point to this here, the Man Transformation Experience. That's the coaching experience that I will take you through if you decide to make a decision and get this part of your life handled for once and for all. So you can book a free 15-minute call with me. Go to calljad.com if you want to discuss this and see if you want to be my next success story. Okay, we have a very high success rate. Okay, I could go on and on, but I don't want you to think, oh, look, he's trying to sell and all that stuff. But man, I'm telling you, it just works. Okay, we have a system that works. If you do something for 10 plus years, you just find out what works. So, anyways, you can go to calljad.com. if you want to get your breakthrough. Okay, so how do you reveal your blind spots? You need an expert to examine your game, and point out what you're doing wrong. Now, the thing about blind spots is you don't just have one blind spot. Blind spots are like nested within each other. So you have like a set of 3 blind spots. And then underneath those, there are probably like sub blind spots underneath those, right? And then underneath those are some more blind spots. That's why the coaching process, the mentorship process isn't like, hey, let me talk to you once on the phone and then point out your blind spots and we're done. Because you have layers of blind spots. That's why over a period of 3 to 6 months, depending on different people, but for the majority, 3 months, actually I won't say that. It depends where you're starting. Between 3 and 6 months, it's that process of uncovering your blind spots. Week 1, uncovering your blind spots. Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 12, just uncovering. And by the time we're done uncovering everything, you have no more blind spots. And so what? You regain power back into your dating life. And that power is translated into your performance as getting positive results with women. You see? So blind spots are things you got to clear and clear and clear and clear. It's not just done once, not just, it needs to be done by an expert. Excuse me. So the way to uncover your blind spots is by consulting with an expert, a mentor, over a period of time, having him look into your game over and over, and then just sweeping away one after the other. And then, your blind spots are no longer there. And now you're operating effectively, right? We want you to operate effectively. Now, I'm not going to say that is the only way to point out your blind spots. There is another way. Okay, the painful, hard, slow way, which is go out there and make as many mistakes as you can in the shortest amount of time possible than you can. And every time you go out and make a bunch of mistakes, you're going to figure out what your blind spots are. Now, the problem with that strategy is that men with blind spots have trouble approaching enough women and having long enough interactions with women to even get that feedback. There's a lot of pain and rejection and suffering in that trial and error process. And because there's a lot of pain and suffering and rejection in that process, most guys, even if they tried to reveal their blind spots just through making tons of mistakes, they're going to get so emotionally impacted in a negative way that they're going to give up before they reveal all their blind spots. And with all that being said, even if you went that painful, slow route, there are still some blind spots you're going to be oblivious to just because it's your blind spot. And you're going to be convinced, oh yeah, the past 10 women that rejected me was because of this. And you're going to start, well, I wasn't alpha enough, and you're going to work on being alpha enough when all the time it was for a completely different reason. But you're not going to know that because nobody's telling you. So you may be able to reveal some blind spots through that painful, slow process of trial and error. But it's like, you got to be, we're having an intelligent conversation here where you want to think smart, think smarter, work smarter, not harder. That's kind of like trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already invented. Why waste your time, energy, all that stuff when you can just have your blind spots pointed out quickly, easily, accurately, and with much less pain. So, habit number 5. This habit is also essential, not all of these habits are essential, not optional. I'll remind you, essential, not optional. What does that mean? Oxygen is essential to life. You take oxygen away, no life. So it's essential, right? Well, we're saying getting your blind spots pointed out by an expert is essential, not optional. Okay? Every successful seducer has somebody giving them feedback. Essential, not optional. Okay? Now, let me, retract that previous statement and say this. Are there some men who are naturals and don't need their blind spots revealed? Yes. Okay? Let me retract what I said. It was false. Okay? Yes. But if you're not that guy and you're someone who's struggled with women for a year or more and you can't figure out why, then in that case, getting your blind spots pointed out is essential, not optional. If you've accumulated a lot of information and you still aren't good with women, getting your blind spots revealed by an expert is essential, not optional. You need to understand you're paying with your time. Time is the most valuable resource. You can be a billionaire and still not buy one extra minute. Stop paying the expensive price of time in exchange for figuring out this game when there are people like myself and others who can help get you there in 3 months, 6 months. My mentality growing up, and I mean like this is like in my 20s onwards, is I threw money at my problems. Anytime I couldn't figure something out, I just went and hired a mentor, business mentor, a spiritual mentor, dating coach, a mentor, okay? And that's why I'm not getting stuck in my life. Okay, money comes and goes. Money is cheap. Money is nothing. You see how money is getting devalued, inflation, whatever. We never miss the money. What we miss are the years. Okay, I didn't want to I'm 42 now. I didn't want to get to 42, 52, 60, 82 and look back and be like, oh, I could have gotten so many beautiful women and had so many sexual, beautiful experiences and romantic experiences with women, but I didn't. I didn't want to be that guy. Okay, I do not miss a single penny of what I spent in coaching in any area. Okay, fitness, health, wealth. The ROI, when Jim Rohn said this: the best investment you make is the investment in yourself. That is absolutely true. Every rich person will tell you the same thing. And I'm rich in terms of women and past experience with women. The payback you get is infinitely greater than whatever you pay in money, okay? Like, for example, let's say, so I paid some mentors and coaches to help me with this dating thing, okay, myself. So I was in your position, right? And if you just like reach back and take one experience, one moment with one of the most beautiful women in my life, okay, just one day, one moment with one of them, that one made it all worth it. Okay, it's priceless. Experiencing the beauty, which is women, is priceless. Okay? So think about that. You know, too many of you are concerned with saving paper, which isn't even paper now. It's just numbers on a screen. For what? For what? In fact, I am of the belief if you're not good with women, that's affecting how much money you're making. You'll probably make a lot more money if you had this woman thing figured out, because your mind would be clear. That happened with me too, man. I couldn't focus on my work because I was thinking, you know, scare women. I need to, you know, I don't have this handled. But once I got it handled, man, I was locked into work, man. No problem. Okay. So, let's see. How are we for time? Okay, I'm going to stop it here. And we'll share the final two principles in our last session. So, quick review of the 7 habits of highly successful seducers. What the 7 habits are is a formula. If you do all 7 things, you're going to get success. It's been proven. I proved it myself. I proved it with my students and continue to on a daily and weekly basis. And this is also the same pattern that all the successful seducers I've studied have. So if you implement these 7 habits at the same time, you're going to get the same results. So habit number 1, use the right strategy. Habit number 2, always use the mastermind principle. Always. Habit number 3, follow the framework of 1 mentor, 1 system, 1 year. Habit number 4, get accountable to a man that you respect, okay? That can call you out and hold you accountable and not let you slide. Habit number 5, get an expert to point out your blind spots. That's it for today's session. If you want to experience what it's like or inquire into the man transformation experience and have me mentor you, then go to collegehad.com and we'll talk and see if this is something worth pursuing further. All right. So have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.